again on payroll deduction. I'm going to kind of walk you through it. So they call me the legal guy around. I'm not an attorney. I'm dangerous as an attorney. So to start off with, gosh, I feel like I want to sit down. So to start off with, we offer you two different plans. One that protects you in the truck, thanks, and one that protects you outside the truck. So the first thing I need to know is how many of you are married or have a significant other? Okay, just one of you. And the reason I'm asking is that this plan is going to cover you and your spouse or significant other at no additional cost. So if you want to get one, you can get one. Some people don't want one after they've had one before. But anyway, so we cover you in your personal vehicle as well as in the truck. So I'm going to talk to you about the commercial driver legal plan. So this plan protects you in your personal vehicle as well as in the truck. If any of you ride a motorcycle, you're covered. If any of you are in a boat, you're covered. If any of you are on a four-wheeler off-road, you're covered. ATV. Anything that moves that can affect your CDL, we cover you with this plan. Basically, what I like to say is this plan helps you keep your PSP clean, which is I know I'm preaching to the choir because there's no rookies here. So it helps to keep your PSPs clean, okay? The price that they've negotiated for you is 99 cents a day, which is $6.91 a week. So they deduct $6.91 a week after the first pay period after April 1st. And the way our plan works, which is different from some other plans that are out there, there are other plans where you pay and then you have to pay again, or they have upcharges. What we've negotiated with your company is that you don't have any of those things. So you're paying $6.91 a week. As long as there's no drugs, alcohol, hit and run, the vehicle's registered properly, and you are, and they don't find like 3 logbooks or a radar detector, which you know you're not supposed to have, that gets written up on the ticket, you don't pay another dime for your attorney fees. From the first call to the law firm through deposition, pre-trial, and trial, your attorney fees are totally paid for, okay? So, let's go through an example. You get a moving violation. What you're going to do is, if you're an app person, we now have an app for your phone. All you do is push the button on the phone. If you're not an app person, we have a telephone number. You're going to always get a card, and you're going to call the law firm. Then what we do is, if we hire you a local attorney, we do not call on a long-distance number to negotiate for you. We hire local attorneys because we have found that judges are attorneys. They play golf together, they play tennis together. So we don't go into traffic court, we go in the back room to work out the best arrangement for you. Now you've got to agree, like if you don't think it's the best deal, we will fight it for you. But I can tell you that this attorney's going to strenuously try to convince you that a clean MVR is more important than trying to get your point across. And there's times we all want to do that. But like I said earlier, your PSPs are everything to you. And in fact, what our attorneys are telling us, in the next 3 to 5 years, compensation for over-the-road drivers is going to be a clean MVR and low CSA points. So the drivers that have the cleanest MVRs and the lowest CSA points, they're going to get paid the most amount of money. Those are the companies that are going to want those drivers. I mean, it's just where things are going. So that's what this plan does for you. And again, you don't pay anything for your attorney fees. Now let's talk about CSA points. It used to be that these plans could help you only with keeping your MVRs or your CDLs clean. Now, since August 23rd of 2014, if you get a ticket that has CSA points, and that ticket is adjudicated in court, which is a fancy word for plea bargain down to a lesser offense. Our attorneys are gonna give you a certified court document. You bring it back to the safety department, and they will data queue, which is an electronic process that you all can do yourself, but they'll do for you, back to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. What the feds have now told the states is they have to reduce your CSA points to 1. So if it was a 10, it gets reduced to 1. Now you still have the multipliers, the 3, the 2, and the 1, but 3 times 1 is better than 3 times 10, okay? So that's how this plan works. Also, we do the same thing with DOT tickets, and the same thing if God forbid you're in an accident, someone is killed and you're charged criminally, you have no out-of-pocket expense for your attorney fees with our plan, as long as there's no drugs, alcohol, that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the first plan, and if you go all the way to the back page, I just want you to see, at the bottom, you can see where it says CDLP $691 a week right here at the very, very bottom right here. So that's the first plan, okay? Now, they also ask us to offer you a second plan. It's for issues that happen outside the truck. So for example, some of my drivers, well, let me ask you, have any of you ever left a company and they owe you money?
Yeah.
Okay. Now? Is it going on now, or it just had in the past?
No, it was just my last company.
Okay. So, April 1st, maybe 2nd or 3rd, by the time we get the paperwork into the system, you're gonna be able to call the law. What state are you from?
Texas.
Okay. So you're gonna call Ross and Matthews. That's the Texas law firm. So this is a separate plan from the other one. This is for issues outside the truck, like collections. You need some help. You're gonna call them and say, hey, has that ever happened to you?
Yeah,
Okay.
over the years.
Okay, so you're gonna call and say, hey, I got someone who owes me money. So they're gonna ask you, were you a company driver, or were you an owner-operator? What were you? Okay, so W-2, so they probably wanna see a copy of his W-2. And by the way, it doesn't, and was the company from Texas or another? Okay, so this is a beautiful thing, the way this works. So you're called a Texas law firm, but then we also have a network of attorneys. We also have attorneys in Georgia. But the Texas law firm's gonna write a letter. It's called a demand letter. So what I'm talking to you about right now, and it doesn't, by the way, this second plan is an additional 62 cents a day. And it doesn't cost any additional, see where it says advice and letters written on your behalf on the second page from the front. They're gonna write a letter for you. It's called a demand letter, and they're gonna demand that you get paid. What my drivers tell me is that when you all call or you write a letter, it goes to your old dispatcher or the owner of the company, but when an attorney writes a letter, it goes to the legal department. Whether it's right or wrong, you know which one gets more action, because they gotta do something about it. So that's what we do for you for 62 cents a day. Doesn't cost you any additional out-of-pocket expense for the letter and for the advice. Another thing, some of my drivers, I don't know if you all do or not, rent where they live. Well, I want you to know that if you move out of a rental property and you don't get your damage deposit back, like in Illinois where we are now, within 45 days, without a written reason why they're holding it, and if that's bogus, they're gonna write a letter for you at no cost to you. But if they haven't given your damage deposit back, you're due double your damage deposit. Every state is double. I'm from Missouri. It's only 30 days in Missouri, and then you're due double your damage deposit. So see what we say in our business is that if you don't know what your rights are, you don't have any rights, okay? So, so we do that. We do help you with collections on your, if you rent. Here's another thing. If any of you are being called by someone trying to collect on a debt while you're driving, that is illegal. for someone to call anyone on a cell phone at work trying to collect on a debt, illegal. We will get that stopped. We just need to know the name of the person, who they're work for, and their telephone number. You're going to call the law firm from your state, and then they are going to write a letter and get them to cease and desist because it's illegal. Okay, the reason why Tenet offers you a plan like this is that they don't want you driving around worrying about this kind of stuff, because that's how inattention and distraction, which is almost 40% of all accidents in the world. Okay? Next thing, you get all your contracts reviewed. So if you buy a four-wheeler, you run an apartment, whatever it is, all your contracts get reviewed at no cost. We cover you 24/7 in an emergency. So if you're in an accident or some issue, some of my drivers have child support issues where DFS comes to the house. Any kind of an emergency, we handle all that. Also, every one of you, courtesy of Tenet, you all get your wills done at no cost. So you all get a will, you get a living will and a healthcare power of attorney, all part of the plan at no cost to you. And it's not Tenet's will, it's your will. You can write me in if you want that. But everyone gets their will done, okay? And then, and there's a bunch of other stuff, but I want to go to, some of my drivers have pre-existing situations going on right now, like divorce, child support, maybe a garnishment, bankruptcy. So anything that's going on right now, first you get advice on it, you get letters written on your behalf, but if we have to go to court, we do that at a 25% discount, because we can't do a divorce for 62 cents a day. So that's how the plan works, okay? So let's go to the back page for me, and I want to show you some things that have been negotiated off for you. So first, you see the Lady of Justice at the top here? Do me a favor, take your pen and see that $10 non-refundable fee? Scratch that out, because you don't have to pay that. The company got rid of that for you, right there. And then if you go straight across from there, see where it says Commercial Driver Legal Plan? You put a check in that box, and at the end of that sentence it says $25 enrollment fee. Scratch that out, because you don't have to pay that. Okay? And then for today's date, I want you to put 04/01/2016, because that's when it would start. 04/01/2016, and then go ahead and fill out the rest of the highlighted areas, okay? And then all you have to do at the very bottom is circle. Do you just want the plan in the truck to protect your PSPs, or do you want to get also the life event legal plan outside the truck? So you can just pick what you want. And then I have temporary membership kits for you. And I have stickers with the telephone number for the law firm. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Jay. Yes, sir.
Well, you spoke about asking me that I have any problems with the other company. Well, I did file a wage claim against them.
Okay.
And I think they gave me, what did they give me, 30 days or something to reply. So, you know, I mean,
So
I
you
did.
think it's fair?
I did quite a few miles for them, you know, to say just, you know, I let my superior, my Lord fight my battle.
Okay.
You know, and you know, I mean, I traveled like over 1,800 miles and didn't get paid. And then they wanted us to merge with this other company, and they accused me of stealing a couple of com checks, which I had nothing to do with. And then they didn't pay me for the week and a half that I worked for them. You know, the company that I was merging with. And so, you know, just not wanting to deal with all the red tape and dilemma, I just said, forget it, you know. So,
you know, everyone has ways that, whatever you wanna do, I mean, if you don't wanna get the family plan, you may wanna have the plan that protects you if you get a moving violation. I mean, and again, it's up to you, these are
well,
strictly voluntary.
what about this job that owes me money?
Right.
I mean, I would really like to get my money,
Okay.
you know, so,
So after April 1st, you would call out, which I would give you the number for the law firm. You'll have my information. You can always call me before you call, and I'll help you organize, you know, your conversation with the law firm, because you need to write down things between now and then that are on your mind. And then you'll call the law firm. They'll ask you for some backup, and then they're gonna write a letter and a demand letter and demand that you get paid. And you'll see, you know, what kind of action you get.
okay. Now that sounds good. Now, you're saying, am I hearing that, if you get a citation or a traffic citation that you'll fight for us?
Yes, you're gonna have an attorney in that jurisdiction representing, a transportation attorney representing you on speeding tickets, on any ticket that you get in your personal vehicle as well as in the truck.
Okay, and on this wheel, you said that's like 62 cents more or something?
No. That's how much the second plan is. It's $437 a week additional. The CDL is $691 a week. The plan for the issues outside the truck is an additional $437. $437 is 62 cents. So if you got them both, it would be $1.61. I always tell drivers a bottle of soda at the Pilot is about $1.80 or something, $1.90 with taxes. So you can get both plans, and then you all know, because you've been driving for a while, TVC is in the truck stops, and their one plan just to protect you in the truck is more expensive than our two plans. So,
Okay.
Okay, so I'll pick.
yeah, go ahead.
I'll pick both, because
Okay.
I might need you
Sure.
for child
Okay,
support
good
issues.
stuff.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you this,
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna get you the second one. What state are you from?
Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay, go ahead.
And I'm kinda like Chili Willie back here.
Chili Willie, okay. Go ahead.
I have issues with, you were saying DHS, with,
Oh,
in the state of Alabama, it's the Department of Human Resources.
Right.
I've had custody of my granddaughter since the day she was born. The mom had up and taken off, and the dad was actually my stepson, my son, in and out of jail, in and out of prison ever since. But in the state of Alabama, grandparents don't have any kind of custody rights. We can get temporary custody,
Right.
but we can't get full custody, which has caused a lot of problems.
Sure.
Now, I also have a grandson, same parents, that my son has custody of, and he's in the middle of problems. I feel like he's doing drugs again and doing some other things, but we have absolutely no rights to him, and to be able to take him from him, they're talking about have to go through DHR again, which is the in-house, all this other mess and garbage that I don't
Right.
wanna have to deal with. Now, attorney that I've talked to is saying, okay, I'll take the case, is actually one of the elders at my church, but
Okay.
he's willing to take the case, but that $5,000 up front,
Right.
which is a pretty big fee.
So
Yeah,
with our
and
plan.
something
so-
like that with your plan.
Right, you're gonna get a 25% discount, and their retainer fee may be less than that. I mean, I don't know, you're gonna be able to call, you'll talk to them about your case. You wanna make sure that, we only use AV-rated law firms, which is the top rating that a law firm can get. So, you know, a lot of my drivers have similar situations that you have, believe it or not. You know, you're not reinventing the wheel.
Right.
And so, you know, we can, you're gonna have a law firm, and the law firm from Alabama, is that what you said, Al?
Yes, sir.
Is the Anderson Law Firm. They're in Montgomery. That's an AV-rated law firm. And, you know, they're really doing good work for our drivers. Okay.
Like I said, Hamilton's a county seat,
Sure.
and as a county seat, we only have a population of 8,000. But, yeah, and the case would have to be there at
Right.
the local.
You know what? We can't,
it's-
again, these are law firms, top law firms, not a law firm with one person in it.
Right.
It's got lots of lawyers, so you know, this is a plan you wanna get, we call it a life event legal plan because things happen in life. And, you know, it's good to have, the coverage. Excuse me. one
But
second.
they could actually do the paperwork to petition the court, for that temporary custody of the boy. From there, would they not, or?
Yeah, here's what I'm not an attorney, I'm dangerous. That's what my family said.
I
So
understand that.
that's why you have an attorney,
Right.
and it's not, you know, and I'm sure that one of the elders of your church, a great person, I don't know if he's in a one-office law firm,
Yeah.
or if he is, versus someone that's got 20 lawyers in a firm, you know, it's just something to think about.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's what I was curious about, as far as the documents that would have to be filed with the court, would that be under the?
Yeah, it's gonna be a 25% off.
Or would
Yeah,
it be the
yeah,
25%?
unless you get them and then you can fax them over and they would review them. Okay, this is the plan in your personal vehicle in the truck, there's a DVD in here that goes over what I talked to you about. My card, I'm gonna give you another sticker for the back for this number, but make sure you put this in your wallet, don't put it with all the other cards, because if you need me, okay? This is your law firm for your child
Oh, and that's
support
discounted.
issues, other things.
He's
This
one
is
of
how to
the
get the
elders.
app
He normally
for your
would take a
phone.
case like that from us.
And then here's how to sign up, but you have me, so you call me if you have any questions at all.
That's cutting me in
Okay.
half there, that price, so. He's done a lot of